Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Andrew, and we're brothers, and this is the Daniel and Andrew Show.
Where we give our opinions about TV and movies and TV about where we ask the question, why bother, that we've been watching lately. So, Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Did you do anything fun this week?
Not much. I did watch some anime that was pretty good, actually, and has your name in it, so it's funny.
No, that's pretty cool. Must be great because that's a good name.
I mean, the show was surprisingly good, so.
Well, that's good. Glad you like it. Um, I uh, I went to Vegas again. Went to a concert in the Sphere. It was Anima and whatever. He's a DJ. Um, and it was in the Sphere, so he had like the projection on the Sphere behind him, and it was pretty amazing. I will say that the the visuals were very cool. Um, he had not one but two openers, and each one went an hour, and we got there an hour early. So in total, and we were in doing the GA, so that was standing. So in total, stood for 5 hours.
Have fun.
Uh, and the concert was at 9. So we stood for 5 hours. So 9 p.m. till 1 in the morning.
Nice.
So yeah, I was definitely feeling it the next day. I'm glad we stayed one extra day because I would have not wanted to drive back the next
Hmm.
day. I was super tired, and I drove. So um, uh, won some money though, so it was good. Um, won about $300. So I've been on
Cool.
quite the winning streak every time we've gone to. I've gone to Vegas recently, so
Just
that's
the
good.
slots.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't play any blackjack this time. Sometimes I play like the video blackjack, but no, just I played slot machines, and I've kind of found the ones that I kind of like. Um, and there's one game. It's called Top Dollar, and it's pretty much like Deal or No Deal in that they offer like it's a bonus game and it's random, and they offer you like a cert. It has like these little credits, and it's basically money values, right? So like it gives you an offer of the money values, and then you can pick. You can take the deal, or you can try again, and you have 3 or 4 deals depending on which machine you play, but it's most of the time it's 4 deals, and then like like you know it could be like $80, and then you could be like try again, and then the next one, the one I was playing was double top dollar, so it can times two. So like it could be like $80, and the second one could be like $160. So like sometimes people would rather just like go through all the deals to see, but sometimes it's like a crazy good one, so you're like, of course I'm gonna pick that one. um so I like that game, and that game I win usually. And it's a pretty simple game. But the one I made money on this time was called Huff and More Puff. It's basically the three little pigs, and then there's like these little hats that they build these little houses if you keep getting these hats in the reels. And then you want to build like the nicest house, and then the wolf blows down the houses, and then it becomes monetary value, of course. And I won I did like it was like a $1 spin, and I put like $60 into the machine. And the bonus game that I had, it was $455. So I've just been getting pretty lucky. I've just been on a good streak. Just been lucky to come home with more money than when I left with, and that's, I tip people at the front desk, and I tip people with cash at the restaurants and stuff, and I recouped all that money plus more money when I came home. So basically paid for itself, the hotel we were staying in and stuff. Just gambling. So yep, just been doing pretty good, and the concert was really good. I definitely didn't need to see two openers, but when he was on the main event with all the really crazy stuff, like I think you would have liked it actually, like that, because it was like there's one, so it's like all panoramic, right, and goes like over your head and stuff. I have videos I can send them to you. There was one where it's like this big robot lady, and she's like smacking the wall, like it was like like it was smacking a wall, and then it
Yeah.
like breaks the, like the first hit it like cracks the wall, and then the second hit it like breaks the glass or whatever, and she's like looking over into the audience. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I could send you some cool videos, and it's like massive screen, right? So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was definitely a good. I think that was a good uh, uh, example of what a concert could be in that space. I don't know if I would just go see like a regular band in there. I think this kind of made sense. It had like a narrative to it. Um, I think I liked that, but because I mean the music was fine, but it's not like an artist I'm familiar with or anything. So, but
Yeah.
my friend wanted to go, so we did. So yeah, that was fun. Um, so I watched. I only watched one other thing because I've just been working and stuff, and I watched this TV show. I watched Rebel Ridge on Netflix
Mm.
because
Yeah.
I saw some people liked it, and you said you liked it, so I was like, I'll check it out. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm.
I think he's good. He's going to be a Green Lantern there. Um, that's going to be our what's his name, John Stewart, Green Lantern. And he was Mufasa in the Lion King, so he was the voice anyway.
Okay. Okay.
He's pretty good. He's British. That was a guy that when I was looking at potential James Bond and people were talking about we should have a black James Bond, he would be a pretty good James Bond, I think. I mean, he's like 6'3", and he's a handsome guy, and he's British, so maybe he could be he's like 30, so maybe he could be an option down the line. Um, but yeah, I thought that movie was pretty good. Uh, it could have been a little shorter. Like 15 minutes shorter probably would have been perfect, but I thought it was good. Um, the bad guys, you wanted them to get get theirs, and I think he didn't kill anyone, so that I mean that you know he was just a badass kind of guy, of course. Um, yeah, I thought it was good. The story was good, and it was definitely small budget. Wasn't like a big budget movie or anything, but I thought it was compelling, and I thought it was pretty well made. Um, yeah, it's in the top 20 for 24 uh,
Wow.
of
Okay.
of like that was my 56th movie for 2024. So yeah, so I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. And so I'll keep an eye out for whatever that guy makes next, because the writer, director, he did pretty much everything on that movie. So other than act in it, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll see what he's got coming up next. And yeah, I thought Aaron Pierre did a good job. Anna Sophia Robb, that's a person I haven't seen in a hot minute. and she's like the lady that helps him,
Mm-hmm.
the blonde girl. Don Johnson was a good bad guy. Roy from The Office. Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. It's a good movie. I would give it like 7.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what I gave it. Probably a 7 as well.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. Cool. All right. Got anything to talk about before we talk a little bit of news here?
No.
Not. I haven't seen much news. I've been kind of busy, and there's been a bunch of like awards nominations, the Writers Guild and Producers Guild and stuff like that. But it's all pretty much the same, the usual suspects we've been seeing for the award shows. Nora, Conclave, The Brutalist, Wicked, A Complete Unknown, uh, The Substance, stuff like that. So nothing really new or interesting to talk about. Um, but that's and everything has been getting pushed back and pushed back because of the fires in LA. So yeah, but so a whole bunch of stuff came out in the last couple of days, but I feel like it's like nothing new. There's no like left field choices or anything. I think Dune got a little bit of love. It's been kind of relegated, but those got a Writers Guild and a Producers Guild nomination. So we'll see how the. I'm sensing it's probably gonna be about 8 nominations for Best Picture. I'm not seeing a 10 nomination because they can go up to 10 nominations for Best Picture at the Oscars. But I don't see it being. I don't think there's enough like strong movies for that. Um, the only thing I saw that was sort of interesting, I guess, is that they moved Shrek back to December of next year. It was supposed to come out in the summer. They moved that back to December, and they moved a Minions movie, Minions 3, up to where that was going to be, which is going to be July 4th of next year.
Great.
Yeah. I don't really care about Minions, but I mean, I definitely do want to see Shrek. I bet Shrek will do well at Christmas um,
Yeah.
holiday as the first one. What, 15 years at least?
Yeah, it's been a while. They made
So
like 4 of them or something, though.
yeah,
Maybe
this would
3,
be
yeah.
Shrek 5. Yep, Shrek 5. Um, so I think that'll do really well. When we if we do the draft again, another movie draft, I'm sure that will be picked high on that list. I think we'll probably do ours for this year, not next week, but the week after. We could probably talk about it when we do that episode for that week. I think. Um, yeah, that was all the news that I had. Really, I didn't see anything particularly interesting. Everything's kind of quiet because of the fires. Not a lot of people signing deals and stuff when things are on fire. So, um, yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some trailers here. First, we're going to talk about Alto Nights, which is a movie written by the same guy who wrote Goodfellas and starring Robert De Niro, who was in Goodfellas. Just not Martin Scorsese directing. Barry Levinson is directing, and it's a director that's worked with De Niro quite a bit. The only twist about this movie, it's another mob movie with Robert De Niro. The only difference is that Robert De Niro is playing against Robert De Niro. So he's playing 2 roles.
Oh. I didn't even notice that in the trailer, to be honest.
It literally says Robert De Niro as blah 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 and Robert De Niro as different name.
Yeah.
And they're
So
literally
are they
talking to each other
are they
across the
like
table.
brothers or something? Or
No, they're like two rival mob bosses that used to be friends or something. Um, but
okay.
one of the mob bosses is like trying to go like be a politician and just like go quote unquote straight or whatever and leave the business kind
Hmm.
of thing. So yeah. So Robert De Niro in prosthetics against Robert De Niro in different prosthetics to play apparently real life people. Um, so yeah,
Well, hopefully it's not boring, but we'll see.
yeah. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be a long ass movie, just like Goodfellas and The Irishman was long and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
I'm
It's
assuming it'll be
probably
a
at
long.
least 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like it's pretty much just him. I didn't see a lot of like other big names in the movie from what I can remember. Um,
What do you
so
mean you got him twice? So.
yeah, I mean that doesn't, you know. Um, but yeah, I don't even. I'm trying to remember. I don't even think I remember anybody else in that trailer, other than him. Yeah. Yep. No, that's pretty. That's pretty much it. Uh, so see, he seems to be pretty old. I mean, he's doing quite ambitious things for being old. So he must like being in the makeup chair. Uh, so
Well,
because
isn't that
he's,
what an old person would do anyways, to sit in a chair?
I guess. I mean, in the trailer, I think he's just sitting at a booth across from himself. So
Yeah.
I guess he is sitting in a chair technically. I don't know. I'd probably check this out. Uh, see what the reviews are probably first. But I mean, it looked kind of interesting. Cool. I don't think you were that interested because you didn't even realize Robert De Niro was playing
Yeah,
against
no.
himself.
I was just like, oh, Robert De Niro mob movie, and
Yeah.
kind of just listened. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh well. Well, something I think you will be interested in is the trailer for Daredevil, our first real trailer we've gotten for the TV show that comes out in March.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, you're not excited because the other two are in it or something, right?
I don't care for them. I thought they were both lame. Um,
Well, I don't
but
know if they're in it, but they
from the
are
looks of it,
shown in it.
they're not in it very much. From the looks of it,
Yeah.
um, looks like Kingpin's now the mayor of New York. I'm guessing he's just the mayor of New York. Um, and so it looks like he's trying to be sort of not as seedy, I guess. Um, it looks like it's mostly about Daredevil. It looks like he has a new love interest, I believe. There was a lady in the trailer. You got different villains. Um, I think the rumor is Bullseye's in it. And then there's another villain with the like the mask or whatever, where it's like it looks like the eyes are like bleeding or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I guess that's another villain. Um, so, and then you got the Punisher. I believe there was some Easter eggs for like a Luke Cage, I believe, in the trailer as well. Um, but we'll see
We
what
talking
happens.
Punisher from the old show too?
Yes, John
Hmm.
Bernthal's in the trailer. He's
I
heavily
must
featured.
not be paying attention that much to these trailers.
Yeah, he literally told him to like calm down or something. Did you watch the right trailer when they showed like all his different masks with the yellow one and
Maybe I
stuff?
didn't watch the right trailer then. I never actually watched season 2 of the Netflix one.
There
So
was three
maybe I need to
seasons.
watch it. Oh, there was 3?
There was 3 seasons. Yep. The third season is the one that I think is the one that features Punisher the most. That kind of like introduced him and gave him like a lot of backstory.
Uh, I guess I'll need to watch 2 seasons of it then.
Elektra, um, stuff like that.
I want to say I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I just like didn't checked out. I didn't continue it of the second season.
I liked I liked Daredevil. I thought Daredevil was good, so I watched all 3 seasons. Um, but yeah, like the opening of the trailer is literally him talking to Kingpin in like a diner.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. I was just like Kingpin again. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't think it. I think Kingpin's gonna be like doing his own thing, sort of
Okay.
thing. Um, yeah, cool. Yeah, any other thoughts there?
Other than at least it's a Marvel show I'm interested in.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. It definitely looks like they're gonna cram things in, but also, from what I understand, it's a long season. It's like 18 episodes or something. It's not like It's not like 6 or 8 episodes. It's like a full season. Um,
If that
so
means they have good content, I mean, I'm not. It's not a bad thing.
well, it was. I believe it was already. It was gonna be that, and then they reshot this whole. They like basically scrapped the whole show and start it again. That's
Oh wow.
like originally Foggy and Karen weren't even gonna be in the show. They, like I said, they completely reshot this show, from what I understand. So, or mostly like a good chunk of it.
Guess we'll find out.
So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Basically refreshing, probably, because they kind of screwed up Kingpin and Hawkeye. They're probably just kind of refreshing him. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's silly.
so yeah, yeah, that is a Marvel show that I think looks good, and I will actually be interested in watching, and probably will be excited to watch instead of going, I guess I'll finish this up. Gotta finish this up. So is how I felt a little bit about the show we're going to talk about today, which is the third and final season of What If.
Oh, it's the final season?
Yep, final season. They canceled it. That's why it was very final. This the last episode.
Yeah. Yeah, this season was by far the worst.
Yeah, it was the worst season. I think I liked the season finale more than I liked the second season's finale, where she just like got everyone's powers at the end. That was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that. Yeah. Honestly, I can't really remember much of season 2 to begin with anyways.
yeah, but this was the worst season overall for sure. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't yeah, it didn't really do anything that was like a lot of what if, really. It was more like just
A
they
new story.
I just thought it was funny that people complain that there isn't enough like what if, like actual what ifness to it. Is like it was basically the episodes that are better are if like they actually change something. Like these what ifs are like these episodes were like, what if they uh were somewhere else? They weren't like, what if this person did, completely
Hmm.
changed or something? It was like nothing that particular. It's just, what if Agatha was in the 1930s Hollywood instead? it wasn't,
Yeah.
what if Shang-Chi was in the Wild West?
Yeah,
Um,
they just went goofy with it and didn't like change what if this thing happened to this person instead of what happened in the movie.
yeah.
It's not like that. Yeah.
Well, and also they only did people from like the newer
Yeah.
phases.
And it definitely hurts for
It hurts
sure.
it because no one
Yeah.
cares.
They
Um,
show up in cartoon version and they're like, who is that?
yeah, I mean, okay, so we can just um now the highest rated episode is the one with Red Guardian and Winter Soldier. And I found that to be the most boring because I just don't care about those characters.
At least you can pin the tail on which one's the worst. I can't even do that. I think they're pretty equally bad.
Which one's the worst? That was not what I said. I mean,
Oh, you were
was
saying, I thought you said that was the worst episode, but
that,
people are saying it's the best. If
that's the
that was what you
highest
said.
rated episode. I thought it was
You just
boring.
didn't like it. Okay, but it's not your
Uh,
worst. Okay.
I mean, if I was going to skip an episode, like skip over parts of an episode, it would have been that one because it's just like Red Guardian's goofy and Bucky's not.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool.
I thought you might like it because it's in Vegas.
It was in Vegas?
Yeah, they're in. Well, not. It's not the whole episode. It was like the second half of the episode. They're in Vegas, and
Yeah, that's true. They are in Vegas.
he's shoots the slots to distract people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I know.
I pretty much
I know.
forgot they were that was where they were.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I, the the dumbest one was the one with Ironheart.
Okay.
Because it was just like I don't care about like all the characters they selected to be like the last group were like, why did you pick this group of people? Like I don't like who was it? Riri Williams, and then
The magic sorcerer guy,
Wong,
Wong. Yeah. The
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, who's not even part of Earth at all.
I don't even
I
know
guess
who
she
Ying.
is.
I don't even know who Ying Nan is. The Okoye, but
I
it
was
wasn't.
assuming that was supposed to be the Shang-Chi. He had like a mom or something, right? Or freaking Michelle Yeoh's character in Shang-Chi. That's who I thought that was supposed to be. But I don't actually know if that was her or not, to be totally honest. Because it didn't really look like her. So I just assumed I didn't know who it was.
Yeah, you are correct. That is who it's supposed to be. That is
Okay.
correct. Why would you pick that character? I don't know. But it's just like it was just a bunch of random people that were not
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
And they had no connection to the main character, and then your the main character is supposed to like care about them, even though she was like, I don't trust myself like 5 minutes ago. This is just not
I,
good. Yeah.
I'm sure people didn't like the Howard the Duck one. I don't mind silly stuff, so it didn't bother me. I thought that was actually like, what if, like some, like it wasn't what you want, but it
Yeah,
was at least like
true,
something
true.
happened.
Yeah,
So
I don't know what they thought with that episode. Like we
they
saw
usually
that
have
episode and we were like, oh my gosh. Laura didn't
well,
even watch this show. She wasn't even interested.
they like last year they did the same exact thing from last year. They did like one episode a day, and the Christmas episode is like the one that came out on Christmas is the most like silly lighthearted one, and that was the Howard the Duck one on this year. And I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of nice. It was like at least it had like a storyline. Like it wasn't just like things happened and then that's it.
Yeah.
Um
Kind of reminded me of that bad episode in Secret Level with the PlayStation one, where it was just like, here's a bunch of PlayStation things, but this one was like, here's all the Marvel villains showing up that have been, our C tier villains throughout the movies.
yeah, it wasn't quite like that.
I'm not
I
saying
don't
it
know.
was as bad as that one. I'm just saying it still wasn't good, but I mean, it was slightly better than the other ones.
Yeah. I mean, so there was Avenger Mechs, which was fine.
Avenger
Uh
Mechs,
Avenger
Power
Mechs versus the
Ranger,
Hulk
Pacific Rim type
Kaijus.
of things. Yeah,
Yeah. That was fine.
I mean, it was just
Agatha,
boring. What if
yeah.
Captain America and Hulk were friends?
Yeah,
Was that the what if?
it was lame. There was nothing interesting like particularly like scintillating about that.
Yeah,
And it was basically if Hulk was his best friend, it was Sam's best friend instead of Steve Rogers. Pretty
yeah,
much.
but they weren't even. Those two weren't even friends in the movies anyway, so it didn't really make sense. And then
But
Sam,
then
for some reason, is like the head of a meeting. Like,
but then also but also they just reverted back to the same storyline that Hulk always has, which is like I'm the
I
Hulk
don't want
and
to hurt people.
yeah, it's like okay, we've seen that a million times.
Yeah,
Um, we had Agatha 1930s Hollywood. Um, I mean, I kind of liked the stuff, but then there was just like a random dance scene, which I laughed out loud because I thought how ridiculous it was, and I know that people would hate that. Uh,
yeah,
but I didn't think it was a horrible episode, and I like Catherine Hahn and I like Kumail Nanjiani, but it just like was random. Like it was fun, but there was nothing like this one actually had like a storyline, but it was just like fine.
yeah.
Yeah, the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier one, fine. I thought it was boring. The Riri Williams one, like I didn't care about anybody. I don't know why they picked the characters that they did. I feel like they just like saved the more interesting character groupings until like the end of the season.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't that interesting. But yeah,
I just thought those characters were more interesting, I guess. Um, but that's because we've seen those characters before, except for one that I mean, but we have seen her before. She just was,
yeah.
you know, it's Storm. So,
I mean, when you
um,
have the ability to choose anything, you can like set up comic book lines from the comics, like do like different versions of characters,
yeah,
and they even show it in the end credits of the
yeah,
like final episode
yeah. We'll get to
of
that. We'll
like
get to that. We'll get to that.
cool
Yeah,
things they could have done.
yeah. We'll get to that. I'm gonna get to that for sure.
Okay.
Let's finish up talking about the other episodes. Yeah, Shang Chi and Kate Bishop in the West. Now, Kate like a sharpshooter Hawkeye as like a gunslinger. That makes sense and would be interesting. But it was just the plot of Shang Chi as an animated Wild West one instead of the movie
Yeah.
is the exact same plot of
Yeah,
the
and then the
movie.
what if doesn't really make sense other than it's just if it's Wild West, it's
Yeah,
no.
if it was Wild West instead. It was like what? And then they just used a different villain
Yeah.
as the the pretense, but it was just
Yeah.
Shang-Chi again. I would have been if it would have been more interesting if it was about like Hawkeye being a gunslinger in the Wild West. That would have been more interesting. I think they
Yeah.
just didn't do
And
enough with the premise that they had.
her being a gunslinger and killing like 20 people and then she's shooting him, and then they're just like falling over. I don't know why it bothered me so much. It was just like, this is dumb.
Well, also, it was a Western one. So, and you had Walton Goggins, who's was a villain in Ant-Man 2. And of course, you do a West one, so you get Walton Goggins because
Yeah,
he's Western guy, right?
he's the
He does a
Western
bunch of
guy.
Westerns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It makes perfect sense, but it's just the story was lame. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got him and he's good, and it's a better episode because you have better parts to it. But overall, it's still just lame, kind of lame.
Yeah.
Um, and then the after that episode was the most interesting episode, I think, which was the second to last episode. Where they have every season they painted themselves into a corner doing it in the first season and then the second season, so they have to like tie it up at the end of each season to have like a through line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and honestly, the only cool part about this is that I kind of liked the little team that they put together, and Storm is badass. So,
Yeah. I don't. I don't think that. I think Storm's cool, but like we watched that episode together, and I was like, can't we just have a Storm episode? Like that would be
yeah,
so much better.
that's why I went. That's what I was gonna say was what why didn't you have an episode about how Storm became the goddess of thunder, like has the hammer, like is basically the Thor, right? Like why didn't you
Yeah.
have that episode? That would have been dope. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have to have an episode about the Red Guardian and Winter Soldier. I don't think that was the necessary episode. Why didn't you
Yeah.
have it about how she got the hammer? That would have been cool. And then you could have had her come later. Um, and then you had other people, Captain Carter again, which that's fine. I don't dislike her. We had Kahori from this last season, which I actually thought her backstory was interesting. But she's just in this. And she's a character that was created for the show.
Yeah.
Um, and I think she's cool. And then the other person on the team was uh, Howard the Duck and Darcy's
Yeah.
kid there,
Duck Girl.
Birdie,
Yeah.
the duck.
Birdie the Duck. Really? Okay.
That's their name. Yeah, and she was cool. The character, like the design, is cool, and the like the powers are cool, but that was it. I mean, that was the most interesting episode, just because there was
I agree. I just
stuff happening.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then the last episode is just wrapping it up.
Yeah.
And
You get a big head fight scene there, and
yeah, multiple big heads fight scene.
yeah, there was points where I was just like, "Who's who?" I don't know who's
the main.
guy.
So the main one of the three, the Eminence, is Jason Isaacs is the voice, and he's like a villain in pretty much everything. He's also, I believe, in the Clone Wars, he's the Inquisitor guy, the Grand Inquisitor guy.
Oh, okay.
But Jason Isaacs says he's like a villain in like you've seen him before. Like let's see. He's Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter. He's Draco's dad.
Yeah, I knew his voice sounded familiar.
He's the bad guy in The Patriot. Yeah, he's a villain in pretty much everything. But he has a really good voice. Yeah, he's the Grand Inquisitor. So yeah, I mean he's a good actor, and it makes sense that the main guy they got the guy, and he does voice acting. So um, get in spoilers here or whatever. So they basically have the backstory of the Watcher, which apparently is different, a little bit different from the comics, and they just basically make the Watcher a character. Like even though the Watcher in the comics, he never like really interferes, um, because he's been desensitized because there's just a million different you know versions of the people or whatever, so he's usually doesn't care, but in this they just changed what he did and he just
Yeah,
interferes and
he cares now. Yeah.
he just became a hero basically, and then gave them all powers.
Yep.
This is the last episode.
Yeah. Just gave him energy powers. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I just think there was missed opportunities. They could have had that one about Storm, and yeah, they show they're almost these other characters are almost getting wiped out of existence, and you see like different versions of themselves getting pushed out of their body or whatever. And they were all more interesting episodes, what if episodes that they could have done. Like there's one where Storm, she's in the Black Panther outfit, she was the queen of Wakanda, and there was other ones apparently they were just more interesting. And yeah, at the very end they showed like um, Spider-Man and different things, more interesting what if episodes that
Yeah.
we could have had.
Different versions of superheroes that we already knew.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
tell us those stories, not this. this. Honestly, they never needed a through line
yeah.
either. I think they could have just told separate episodes the last two episodes, but made them interesting.
They
But
yeah, they just
that
did
wasn't their strong
they
suit.
just did
So
it in the first season. They just did it in the first season, and then they continued it. They did it, and they just painted themselves into a corner. Um, and
yeah,
unfortunately, Marvel probably told them to use the newer characters, and no one gives a crap. So this season was worse.
yeah, that's
Um,
true.
no one, unfortunately, people don't care enough about the Eternals or Agatha or Red Guardian or Ironheart or Shang-Chi or Kate Bishop. People just don't care enough about these newer characters. So,
Yeah,
um,
it is sad. Yeah, and then the biggest, the biggest hero they had this time was Storm, who's an X Men.
who's an X-Men? That's right. And
Yeah,
just because Storm's badass. I mean, um, yeah. I mean, and they could have used other X-Men characters. They literally made the same company made X-Men 97. So, um, I don't know why
yeah,
they didn't use other X-Men. Um, and the people that were running the show, apparently there was one lady who was running the show the first two seasons. She left, and people think that's why this third season wasn't as good. They also canceled the show, so they probably just wrapped it up. um, the people who were on in charge of this show said that they couldn't use the X-Men characters, even though they used Storm. And the guy who got fired from X-Men 97 said they had free reign to use any character they wanted from the X-Men. That's BS. So um, it's probably just Marvel probably telling them to use the newer characters and not use characters that people actually like. So
well,
um,
I mean, if you do that, then no one watches your show and it gets canceled. So
yeah,
maybe
well,
they're
it was
just
already. I
sabotaging
think
themselves.
I think it already was canceled. I don't think it had anything to do. But um, yeah,
I'm
It's
telling
just
you, if it was interesting and people wanted to watch and then did watch, they would uncancel the show and they would do another season. But they shoot themselves in the foot.
oh, that's true. They definitely shot themselves in the foot with this season because it was no. I don't think anyone watched this season. I I think we might be the only ones.
We didn't want to watch the season.
Yeah, there's just nothing to
Like you were
watch.
saying. Yeah.
It's just dead. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be back next week with a Netflix movie. So it's just not that. It's
Yeah.
just nothing
It's
really that
January.
interesting.
Mm.
Oh, so what's your rating for What If season 3?
Oh, 5.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I think like there's a few episodes that like hit a 6 for me, but overall I was bored through most of the episodes, so I don't. I think there are some 6 maybe. I don't even want to give it a 7. It's not that good. But yeah,
I don't
this
know. Most of the stuff I had like fun with. There was only 2 episodes. The Ironheart one and the Winter Soldier Red Guardian one were the only two that I was like truly bored watching.
you
Um,
didn't like the Hulk one.
it was fine. Like I know the story. It's just they just subbed out a different person. Um, I mean, I thought the fighting was kind of cool, and I like Power Rangers, so I don't mind a big mech like Power Rangers come together thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it. It was like let's have super people in mechs instead. I was just
I
like,
also kind
what?
of liked how they did like the animation, like they did. I don't know, they did like different stuff with it. I don't know. It was just like more. I don't know, more visually interesting, I guess. Um, and I think it had also had like more characters in it that I actually like think are interesting. And also it was the first episode, so maybe I just didn't wasn't like jaded yet from the whole season.
Okay,
Maybe if that was the 6th episode, I might have been lower on it. But it
gotcha.
was the first one. So, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So
Yeah.
um
Well, for me, most of the episodes are out of 5. Maybe like the Shang Chi and the final 2 are like out of 6.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like most of it was just like a little above average, maybe a 5.5 or something. But I wouldn't say it was average. Like I didn't hate the show, but I didn't like love the show
I
either. I
mean,
was
even
fine
out
with
of
it.
5, I'm not saying I hated it. I still think it's average work. I don't. I just don't. It didn't do anything better than the previous seasons, which I gave higher ratings. I'm sure it
Yeah.
did. I don't know for sure. Um, but
I guess I didn't think the finale I didn't think completely sucked ass, and I felt like the finales of of both seasons, the first 2 seasons were just like I thought the second season finale was particularly lame. Um, so maybe it was better than that. So I'm
yeah, I
giving it
mean,
a
I
pass.
don't. I'm not even asking for a finale. I just want a good episode.
Yeah,
So I guess maybe it's just what I'm trying to get out of it was not what was provided. I guess is
yeah,
disappoints me.
yeah. What can you do? Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. Well,
It won't stand the test of time. That's for sure. It won't linger in your head.
yeah.
So,
What if they ever make another season? We'll never know.
I don't think they will.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's for the best. Hopefully, they can do another X Men '97. That one was much better.
Almost certain they're doing another one.
Yeah. Well, you said it was the same company, so I was like, put your resources towards something that people are interested in.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our episode. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then.
This has been the Daniel and Andrew Show.